A man in Southaven, Mississippi was fatally shot and killed after police mistook his house for the house of a suspect. The man had no active warrants. Southaven police on Monday killed resident Ismael Lopez on Monday evening after arriving at his house in an attempt to serve an arrest warrant for a man named Samuel Pearman, whose house was located about a dozen yards away from Lopez's. His wife told their local news, Action News 5, that she and her husband were sleeping and they heard some commotion. He went out to investigate, and the next thing that she knew, he had been shot by police and was lying dead on the floor. Attorney Murray Wells, who is representing Lopez's family, says that the bullet holes suggest police shot through the door of Lopez's house. Police claim that Lopez opened the door and pointed a gun at them, and that they only shot him after repeatedly asking him to drop his weapon. However, some neighbors are disputing the officer's account because they didn't really, that's not what they heard. A lot of people were awoken by this commotion. And the lawyer goes on to say, Wells implied that officers had reasons not to tell the truth in their account of what happened, namely because they could face consequences for shooting Lopez. He also said that Claudia, who was the only one on the property who could not be held responsible for shooting Lopez, did not hear any commands or instructions being given. In addition, Wells said Lopez never pointed a gun at the officers. And just sort of closing in his memory, they've been in that home for 13 years, and the only time the police had ever been there was when they had been robbed before. No criminal history whatsoever. A long-standing employee of the city of Bartlett, mechanic, loved in the neighborhood. This is an incredibly tragic story. Jenk, I kind of want to toss it to you because you said that your take on this was it was less about the police shot the wrong guy. It's what if they shot the right guy? You know, I think the narrative here has gotten a little muddled at how we've been seeing it reported.
Real quick though, before you jump in on that, I just want to make a quick statement about how the cops are claiming that he was pointing a gun at them, and that's the reason why they decided to open fire. Why is there a gunshot or a bullet hole through the door? Yeah. Right? Like that's just very strange to me. So you're saying that you could see through the door and he was holding a gun and refused to put it down, and then you shot him. It's just weird. Anyway.
This seems like a classic case of shooting too early, which is now the millionth story in a row we've done about cops who shoot too early. So you don't even know who the guy is. You went to the wrong house. You didn't bother asking him. Hey, who are you? Like you might have shot too early if you didn't ask who he is. And so let's break it down in 18 different ways. First off, you're going to a house in the middle of Mississippi in the middle of the night, and even if what the cop story is true, which no witnesses agreed to, every witness says first thing they hear is the shots. They don't hear any commands to put a gun down. There's a bullet in the door, so none of their stories corroborated. But even if it was true, you're surprised that a guy comes out with a gun in the middle of Mississippi? Everybody's got a gun in Mississippi. Or shouldn't you be prepared for that moment? Like, hey, look, if we're going to arrest someone, and he's not like the guy that they were trying to get is not some sort of crime lord. It was a domestic assault from before. It's not like it was an emergency situation and oh my God, he's got a gun and he might use it. No, they go and they're gonna go serve this warrant or whatever and arrest the guy. And you think, hey, maybe a house that in the middle of the night in Mississippi when I riled him up, the guy might have a gun, and let's plan out how we're gonna handle that. Instead, who cares, just shoot him through the door. Or even in their scenario, the guy comes out with a gun and they're like, all right, we asked him a couple times, just kill him already, let's move on. Well, look, if you're a Republican, how many of you have guns? So if they wake you up in the middle of the night and you don't know who it is, you don't know that it's cops.
Right.
You're in the middle of Mississippi, It could be anybody. And a bunch of guys pointing guns at you, what would you do? You'd probably come out with your gun, right? You're gonna get killed because they're not gonna ask questions. They're gonna give you, at best, in their scenario, a couple of seconds before you're dead, okay? Now, that's their best case scenario, that the guy actually showed up with a gun that he has a right to carry.
Right.
But in reality, the evidence says, from what they can gather, okay, the gun's not near the body.
Right.
It's Mississippi, the guy's got a gun, it's in the house, but it's somewhere else. So wait, what, did he go pack the gun after he was dead? Okay, why is there a bullet in the door? Why are no witnesses corroborating your story? And oh, hey, authorities covering up for their own mistakes. Oh, well, that's gotta be a first. So even if they shot the right guy, it would have been hideous. And of course the guy says he didn't do the domestic assault, but it doesn't matter. You arrest someone for domestic assault, you don't execute them for domestic assault. And you don't execute someone within 2 seconds because, oh, I don't know, I'm never taking a chance, man. I'm gonna rile people up in the middle of the night, and if they even look at me weird, or I don't even see them, who cares? Just shoot them through the door, who cares? Yeah. I'm not gonna take any chances. My training told me everybody's a threat. There are no citizens I'm trying to protect. I'm only trying to protect myself. Just shoot the citizens, kill them, and move on with your life.
Right, and this could have happened to anyone in the neighborhood. They didn't take any extra time to verify the address of the person that they were supposed to go to, right? And by the way, obviously that man in this scenario is extremely lucky because he's alive today, right? He would have, almost certainly be dead if they had gone to the right house. Mm-hmm. And so, like in this case, it's in the middle of the night. So just put yourself in that situation, okay? You're in bed with your spouse. You hear commotion at your front door. You don't know who it is. I would panic if it's the middle of the night and I hear that commotion at my front door. And so you go and you're confused. You don't know what's going on. People are talking to you, they're cops, who knows what they said to him? He was probably still confused. I don't know how it all went down. We all don't know, the specifics of how it went down. But the way that they handled the situation, even in the best case for the cops, was terrible, That's not the way that you're supposed to handle a situation like this.
All right, last thing is, look, if you had no sympathy for African Americans who keep getting shot when they don't have weapons on them, well, now, congratulations. We've made the cops so jittery. Our training of them is so miserable, and there's never any consequences. Now they don't care about your race. You got the woman, the yoga instructor, shot dead in Minnesota, and now they don't know the guy's race. They didn't even open the door.
Yeah.
Right, so they're like, I don't care, man. They told me there's no consequences and I should never, ever, ever, ever take a risk with my life. So just kill him before I even see him. So how do they know you're a good, honorable, right-wing Republican? They don't. They're gonna come for you too. Help us build independent media together. TYTnetwork.com/join.